One of the other interesting aspects of our research has been the study of what we call the non-body images. One of the early images we found are found right here. We see a circular pattern at this point. Actually, I first spotted this when I was trying to identify what these were. I thought I saw little flowers little faces out of the corner of my eye, and I was rather startled, but I backed off and saw this circular pattern here, which struck me early on as being that of a flower. When I saw what it looked like and began to look around to other places, we see over the shroud there are many images which look very peculiar and rather discreet. So that actually, not being a botanist, I got the 8-volume set of the Flora Palestina, or the Botany books of Israel, and spent my spare time over 4 years trying to match up these images with what we see in the botany books. These images are very difficult to see. It took me 5 years before I saw the first one. They are a little easier to see if we put an overlay over the image here. And over the period of time, we felt that we've been able to identify about 30 different varieties of flowers. That particular image is that of a chrysanthemum coronarium, or is also called the crown daisy here. And we identified the number of other flowers here. This is of great deal of importance for the research, because all these flowers are found in Israel. Now, not only that, but Professor Danin, who is the world's authority on the flowers of the Middle East and is one of our co-researchers, said that the only place in the world you could find this particular collection of flowers is in Jerusalem. So that puts us in Jerusalem. The common blooming time of these flowers is March and April of the year as well. So that puts us down very, very close. This particular flower right here is actually one of the burial spices that we see here. The appearance of a number of these images is that of flowers about 30 to 36 hours after they've been picked. So that gives us a timing for the formation of the image. Even more interesting, down in one corner here, we see this kind of oval right here, which is the bud, or the flower of this particular plant. It's called Caparis. This flower is rather unique in that the bud starts opening about 10 o'clock in the morning. It opens progressively during the day, and it's fully opened just before sundown. If you're a botanist, which Professor Danin is, you can tell time of day by the opening of this flower. And by looking at that, he said that flower was picked between 3 and 4 o'clock in the afternoon. In addition, we have the pollen grains of most of these flowers has been independently identified, so that they tend to confirm the fact that there are identifiable flower images on here. There are hundreds of flowers that are put on here, but many of them are packed, and so we can't clearly identify them. But Professor Danin has confirmed the identification of about 30 of these. These are plants. So part of these are thorns and thistles, which were part of the crowns of thorns. Part of them, we feel, were simply for, to add some beauty to a grisly situation. And again, one of these is used as a burial spice here. So the botanical findings on the shroud have been very important in confirming the research and giving us a great deal of information about the shrouded Torah, and increasing our appreciation of this remarkable object that Jesus left as a witness to his suffering, death, and resurrection.